Hey guys, welcome back to C2E2. I'm here with the king of all media. That hasn't been coined yet, I don't think.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, Mr. Jimmy Palmiotti.
Stan Lee is the king of all media.
I think Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. Oh, that's right, Howard Stern. Yes, I'm too short for Howard to be Howard.
Well, do your best impression if we can.
Of what? Howard? No, I can't even do it. I can't.
For
Stan would be easier. No, I can't. Howard, I can't do too well.
So you're doing a ton of different things.
Yes.
Let's talk about the comics book first.
Okay.
All-Star Western.
Yep.
Still, you've been writing Western comics for how many years now?
Justin and I have been doing it now for, I think, like 7 years. We've been writing Jonah Hex.
Do you have to watch like Unforgiven every couple months to just be like, oh yeah?
No, actually, I got to say, we have this saying that what would Jonah do? And it actually has creeped its way into my actual life while I'm driving. Somebody cuts me off, I'm like, what would Jonah do? And I'm like, probably drive, smack the guy and kill him. And no, I love Westerns, and I've had such a big diet of them my whole life. I think at this point, I try not to watch too many because I'm trying to kind of do our own thing with it. It's always great to be influenced by films and books, but the character kind of writes itself for us right now, which is kind of a great place to be in.
And you're sort of pulling some modern DC references back through, especially since the New 52 launched.
Yeah, because of All-Star Western and the New 52, Jonah's in Gotham, and we have a chance to interact with, Batman, the Batman universe. So we've been taking full advantage of that for the past couple of years with the crossovers and working with the Bat Office, and then now we throw another monkey wrench in and put Booster Gold in the book. So. Certain people will hate it, certain people will love it, but we're there to kind of shake things up. I think if a book becomes too, everyone's like, oh, there it is again, then you're kind of losing your audience. So we should try to shake it up.
So eventually, all of the DCU will be pulled back in time to the Wild West.
No, actually, because he's going forward in time. So he's walking into the universe. But actually, Booster's in the past, and then we have that for 3 issues, and then Jonah gets kind of slammed in present day, and we sort of like, it's a book where you sit, well, what would Jonah Hex do in, Midtown Manhattan? Yeah. And seeing what's going on in the world, and we're gonna have a blast with that because we're gonna have other DC characters. We're also gonna have the idea of somebody from before the turn of the century looking at how we function, cell phones, everything. There's a ton of stuff in these books that you're gonna laugh out loud because
Jonah's Twitter account.
Jonah's obviously. Twitter, yeah, Jonah at Twitter. Yeah, we should open a Jonah Twitter account and just say, what the hell's going on here?
It's trending. It's just screaming all the time.
What's a cell phone? Where do I find a prostitute? That kind of stuff.
And you just took over Batwing as well, you and Justin. So you're on the outside of the Bat universe, slowly creeping in.
I am. We are always on the outside of things. The Batwing was the Batwing Challenge, we called it, because the book, out of all the Bat books, it was the one that really needed a boost, and they came to us with the idea of, what can you do to kind of give this book more juice, and it was a challenge because we had to take 18 issues of establishing one character, and then issue 19 sort of make him exit the room and introduce a new character with Luke Fox. And it was a bit of a challenge, but actually it was a fun one because we actually found a way to tie the character more into the Batman universe. Before that, he was part of Batman Inc., and he wasn't really tied that closely. Now, being Lucius Fox's son, it's very close, obviously, to Bruce Wayne and the Batman family. And so that gives the book an advantage, and I also think that it opens the book up to a lot of new readers.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk Injustice. Okay. You have been on a couple video games for the DC universe.
Yeah, I've done the one before that was the Mortal Kombat versus DCU. Plus, I worked on a bunch of other games, and stuff like that. But this one we were consultants on it, so it was this was a giant game. This was on all levels. The guys at NetherRealm and Ed Wood's crew, Ed Boon's crew. Ed Wood's crew would be making.
That's a much different crew. The video games the graphics are terrible.
They're both great names. Anyway, but Ed's crew, I mean, they had the game pretty much worked out what they wanted to do, and Justin and I were called in to consult to look at what they had set up to make sure it was tone right for the characters, and if we had any suggestions on story to get the story going. So we gave them our suggestions, and they took some of them, and the tone, by the time everybody was done, the game kicked ass. I mean, we were very excited about it when we saw it in the early stages, and now that I'm seeing people having these Injustice parties, it's pretty awesome. But they got it, you know, and I think the game people buy games now are savvy enough to know, because they're also comic book fans. So this is a game that actually caters to the comic book fans, but at the same time, if you never read a comic, you can get right in and have a great time. And I think that's where the game succeeds on all these different levels.
And do you feel like the game brings people to comics? Is there enough in there that are like start to see like, oh, that character I could really read some stories about?
Yeah, there are the characters outside the main characters that people might want to investigate. But I also think it might remind a lot of people how much fun comics are, and get them to go look for the titles. Because again, I think a lot of people are very lazy media-wise. Like, we don't have as many readers as we used to have, right? Yeah. People would rather watch TV than read and all that kind of stuff. But comic fans are readers. And I think a lot of times we lost some of the audience with new technology, and I just think a game like this kind of reminds people what was so cool about comics. And, of course, that being said, the game actually addresses the new 52, and I just think it all works out pretty well.
That's awesome. Yeah. That extra care is so everyone loves that. Yeah, comics fans.
Honestly, you know, it's everything they do up there is about making sure it's perfect before it goes out.
And who do you play as in the game?
I like to be Wonder Woman, because I like to feel sexy when I'm playing a video
I've read your blog as well.
Yeah,
I feel like
so, you know, no, it depends, because in the game you can play, you know, it's all these different characters. But Wonder Woman's kind of fun. I like Wonder Woman. You know, it's kind of weird being a woman. And
just across the board, we can all agree on that.
Yeah, we've had nights out.
We've had nights out.
Yeah, we tried it. It was okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird at first, but then you just sink right into it.
Like, yeah, lipstick.
It's hard to keep it off your teeth. You guys know what we're talking about.
Skirts, because things dangle.
I didn't mind that at all.
What, the short skirt?
The dangling.
Oh, the dangling. Okay, anyway.
And if you were if you were back in Jonah's time,
right.
What would you be doing? What's your job? Are you a saloon guy? Are you
buying Apple stock? Maybe. No, I don't know.
Oh, wait, that might have been an apple farm.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, maybe an apple farm. I probably would have been a farmer. I probably would have been. Yeah. You know, I'm Italian, and eventually we all retire, go to Florida, and have gardens. Yeah. So I just figured, why not wait and just go have a farm?
Get in early. You'd be one of the first dudes in Florida.
Kind of passive. In a farm, you grow, you feed people. You know, when you bring food, people are always happy. I don't know if you ever tried it. You just walk in a house with food, and people tend to smile at you.
That's true.
It came from delivering pizza as a kid.
Well, I look forward to your farm stand in Brooklyn when you're doing your organic okra.
Of course it would be organic farming.
Well, I mean, come on, guys like us.
Yes.
Well, thanks for talking to us. Always a pleasure.
Great.
And you guys stay tuned for plenty more from C2E2.